Welcome. I want to create a new project in Code Composer Studio for a Tiva Launchpad with an Orbit BoosterPack. In Code Composer Studio, select File, New, CCS Project, and it's really important that you get the part number of the microcontroller on your Tiva board exactly correct so that your code compiles as expected. So I'm using the TM4C123GH6PM. I'm going to program it via the Stellaris in-circuit debug interface, which means all I need to do is plug in the USB cable to load code onto the board. I'll give my project a name that will create a project directory inside my workspace, which I've already set up. I'm not going to change the compiler version, and I want to start with an empty project. Code Composer Studio can create some template files for me. I'd rather put those in myself later on. We'll click Finish, and in half a minute in this Project Explorer view you can see we've got a new project, Manhattan, and it's already got some automatically generated files. Because I want to use the Orbit OLED display with the Tiva board, I need to add some drivers for that, so I'll right click on my project and select New Folder. Rather than adding the directory directly, I'm going to link to the directory, and so this will let me, if I ever need to update the files that the Tiva board uses, I can do those in one place, and every project that uses them will get the updates because of that link. So I'll go to my workspace directory where I have the Orbit OLED driver directory. I'm going to select that folder, link to it, and click Finish. I now need to set up some of the project options. So again, right-clicking on my project, selecting Properties, and there's a fair bit to work through in this window. We'll start with Build, ARM Compiler, and we'll come to the Include options, and that those Orbit OLED drivers that we've just added, that directory, we need to tell CCS where they are so that anything we include in that directory can be found. So I'll add a directory, I'll browse to it. The Orbit OLED driver files were in my workspace, and so I want to add the workspace directory to the include path. So I click OK. I also need to add the directory that has the driver files for the Tiva board, and that is normally in CTI, and it's this directory TivaWare C series that I need to add. From here we'll come down the left. We're done with the compiler options. Let's have a look at the linker. In basic options, some of the code you write, particularly if you're perhaps creating a circular buffer or using malloc or calloc, you will need some space on the heap. How much space do you need? Well, let's start with 512 bytes and see how we go. Down to File Search Path, and here I need to add the actual driver library for the Tiva board. So I'm going to add a file in TI TivaWare C series. I want driverlib ccs debug driverlib.lib. We'll hit OK, apply, and close, and now we can create a new file. Let's call this one main.c, and we're ready to start coding for our Tiva board.